Home purchases between 1 million and 5 million have increased 180% since 2019. Just this year alone, from January to August, luxury real estate surpassed 2019 and 2020 combined. On today's video, find out why there is such strong demand for high-end homes, who these buyers are, and how you can cash in big time flipping houses to rich people. Coming up.
The Real Estate Funding Kit is out now. Learn how to get 100% funding for all your deals without dealing with the banks. Claim your free copy at myfundingkit.com.
If you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year flipping houses, and I make YouTube videos showing you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. I started flipping houses almost 18 years ago in Metro Detroit at pretty much the lowest price point imaginable. I would wholesale houses for $5,000 and $10,000. In fact, I remember a handful of fire-damaged houses in the city of Detroit that I acquired for $1,500 and wholesaled for $3,000. Don't ask me what you would do with a fire-damaged house in Detroit, because I have no idea. That's how I started out, and I slowly and methodically over the years transitioned into higher-end homes. And while I still flip regular price homes, today I flip 3 to 5 multi-million-dollar luxury homes every single year. In fact, this past year, I built and flipped a new construction house that I sold for $5 million and made a net profit of over $1 million. Currently, as of this recording, I have 2 luxury fix and flips that I'm rehabbing right now. One will sell for close to $3 million and the other over $4 million, and each one should net me over $1 million in profit. I'm also currently working on 2 new construction flips in Puerto Rico where I live that will be in the $4 to $5 million price point. If I hit my numbers, I hope to clear close to $2 million net profit on each of those projects. Transitioning into flipping luxury real estate was the best decision of my flipping career. I've done some flipping genius things in my life, but that move was probably the flippingest genius thing I've ever done, and you should make the transition too. If after telling you I make $1 million per deal flipping luxury, you're still not convinced, let me explain why this part of the market is on fire and why it's a huge untapped opportunity if you have the brains and the balls to go for it. Then I have 5 tips on how to make the transition. When I first started flipping luxury at the $1 million price point and higher, everyone said I was crazy, that the risk was too high, that the buyer pool was too small, that there was too much capital and it took too long, and a bunch of other stupid reasons that people who think small come up with. Now, I certainly went through a learning curve, and sure, there are risks, but those risks are significantly reduced in today's marketplace because the demand for luxury is so high. Consider this. The number of properties purchased January to August 2021 in the 1 to 5 million price range jumped an incredible 142% for luxury single-family homes and 129% for luxury attached properties compared to the same period in 2019. Today, nearly 3 times as many individuals with a $5 million plus net worth own $1 to $5 million in real estate compared to 2019. That's a 180% increase in luxury property ownership. Let's take a look at what may be causing this explosion of growth in luxury homes. Obviously, low inventory and low interest rates contribute to more demand, just like lower price points, but there's another dynamic going on. Since the pandemic, we've seen huge gains in cryptocurrency, the stock market, and 401ks, and this new wealth is purchasing more expensive homes, and a lot of them. My personal experience flipping luxury real estate is that the wealthy want what I call COVID-friendly homes that are more conducive to working and entertaining from home. If you're going to be stuck at home, it better be an amazing place to hang out, and not for their primary residence alone. Second and third homes are important too. For the rich, their home environment is now very important. I'm the perfect example. Since the pandemic, I bought a luxury mountain lake home in Montana. Why? Because since the world went to crap because of COVID, I'm not going to travel as much with my 10 kids, so I bought a luxury vacation home where I can get away from all the craziness. And that's the sentiment with the rich. There are 2 core groups that make up these luxury buyers. The first is no surprise, baby boomers. Boomers represent the majority of luxury buyers at 51%. But like me, it's not just their primary residence. They're cashing in retirement plans and buying second and third homes in resort places like Park City, Utah, Whitefish, Montana, and tax-friendly places like Sarasota, Florida. Check this out. There are over 2 million boomers that own more than 3 properties, the most out of any age group. The second group buying luxury homes are wealthy millennials. Bet you didn't see that coming. Known as golden millennials, they're hitting 35 to 40 years old and are finally getting married and having kids. It's about time. These luxury buyers are pushing towards suburban locations like the greater Chicagoland area and hot secondary cities like Atlanta, where they can get more house for their money. These buyers are on the hunt for more square footage and more outdoor space. The influence of golden millennials will be important to watch as their wealth and real estate portfolios grow. But all said and done, here is the most staggering statistic. Nearly 70% of people with a net worth of 5 million plus own 2 or more properties. Second and third homes used to be a thing for the super rich, but now it's common for the normal rich, which is driving up demand. Now, I hope alarm bells are going off right now in your head. Flipping Genius Alert, Flipping Genius Alert. How can I cash in on this segment of the market and flip houses to rich people? Let me share what I've learned over the years, especially most recently during the luxury home boom. I've got 5 big tips for you, so pay attention. Tip number 1 is to become a student of the luxury home market. Learn what luxury buyers want. The best way to learn luxury is to follow closely the spec new construction market. Spec builders are investors like me who buy a buildable lot in a desirable high-end area, sometimes tear down an existing home, and then build a new home, put it up for sale, and flip it to a luxury home buyer. Here's how to study spec flippers. Do a Zillow search in your market and put a filter for minimum year built at 1 year prior to the current year. So as of this recording, put a filter for year built 2020. The search results are newly built homes that sold, which means more than likely it was a new construction spec flipper. Study those homes that sold. Look at location and floor plans and design and finishes. Those spec flippers put significant research into what the luxury market wants. Leverage their knowledge and copy what they do. My goal in the luxury markets I target, such as Scottsdale, Arizona, is to be number 2. Not number 1, but number 2. I copy what other successful spec flippers do since they've already figured it out, and then do it just as good. Remember, new construction spec flippers drive the market trends. They introduce new ideas, and then those ideas that people like become the new trends. When I rehab a luxury house, my goal is to redesign the home to feel as much as possible like modern new construction because that's who I'm competing with. While market specific, generally speaking, luxury buyers want more square footage, open concept floor plans, high ceilings, and they want home offices, and not 1, but 2. They want exercise rooms, wine cellars, and bars, lots of entertaining and outdoor living space, and views always get a premium. Tip number 2 to start flipping luxury is to use an after repair value that is at least 20% lower than new construction spec comps. The strategy is to renovate the home so that it feels like new construction, but then price it significantly below new construction. Like I said, when flipping to luxury buyers, you're competing with other new construction spec homes for sale. You better believe a luxury buyer is going to compare your renovated home to a brand new home, and your home not only better be similar or better in features and finishes, but it better be a deal or they'll choose new construction over renovated every single time. I'll come back to the buy formula in a minute, so keep watching. Tip number 3 is before buying and attempting to flip a luxury home, first find the top selling luxury agent in that market and hire them to be your listing agent that you'll use to resell the home later. During your due diligence period when considering buying a luxury home to flip, walk the property with that agent and get a clear plan of what you'll need to do to transform that property to make it appealing to your ideal luxury buyer in that market. A top producing agent will know the ins and outs and all of the intricacies of designing a house that your target luxury buyer will want. For example, I have a high-end flip that I'm almost ready to list for sale for $2.9 million in Tucson, Arizona. While many of the standard things apply, such as an open floor plan and high ceilings and capturing the views, there were a few things that were critical to do. We learned from our expert agent that our ideal buyer was an older retiree, and retirees in that particular market do not want steps. In fact, steps are the kiss of death in that neighborhood. Well, that was a big problem. The home that I wanted to fix and flip was built in the 90s, and while it was a single-story home, it had steps all over the place. I don't know why they did that in the 90s. I guess baby boomers weren't very old yet. In the house I wanted to flip, the living room was sunken in and so was the master. So what did we do? We filled in the floors, eliminating the steps and making the entire floor plan one elevation. Not because I wanted to spend thousands more on my rehab for fun, but because my ideal buyer would not buy my house if it had a lot of steps. Now, I learned that from the top producing agent that we hired. Tip number 4 to flipping luxury homes is to buy right and follow the right formula. If I'm flipping under $2 million in after repair value and my rehab is under $350,000, I strictly follow the 70% formula. For example, let's say the ARV is $1.5 million and the rehab is going to be $250,000. Following 70% less repairs, I would need to buy for $800,000. That would give me a $120,000 profit on the deal. But as I go up in either sales price or rehab, I want bigger margins. Why? Because the higher the price and the bigger the rehab, the more capital and risk I take on. More risk equals more reward. When that happens, I buy at 55 to 65% depending on the price and the magnitude of the project. For example, I have a luxury flip I'm working on right now where the resale price is 4 to 4.5 million, and to get that price, I'm spending approximately $800,000 in rehab. Well, I bought the house for 1.8 million, which puts me all in on the project at 57% of ARV. That means if I sell it on the low side for 4 million, I'll make $1 million profit. If I sell it for 4.5 million, which is realistic, I'll net $1.5 million. If you think doing one deal and making 1.5 million in profit is brilliant, leave a comment and say, Jerry, you are a flipping genius. And that is the reason why I love luxury so much. Sure, it's a lot of capital and takes longer to flip, but in all honesty, my experience has been the bigger the deal, the easier the deal. Bigger deals are easier than little deals. It's harder to flip a $400,000 house than it is to flip a $4 million house. Why? Because at $4 million, I hire the very best contractors and I have a really good budget and I do things right and it just goes a lot smoother. I hope you can see that. Finally, tip number 5 is to get the right funding. You may end up carrying this project for 12 to 18 months, and if you have the wrong kind of money, such as expensive hard money, the monthly carry could drastically eat into your profits. Until you can secure cheaper financing, it may make sense to find an equity partner. That's what I did when I first started flipping over $1 million homes. Find an equity partner who will fund 100% of the purchase and repairs, and then split the net profit 50-50 when it sells. While you're giving up half the profit, it's worth it to not have the burden and stress of a huge monthly interest payment. The other option is to do what I call finance your financing. Here's what I mean. I did a luxury flip that took me 12 months and my hard money payment was $10,000 a month. I borrowed $20,000 from private money for the down payments, and then on top of that, I borrowed another $120,000 in private money to cover 12 months of $10,000 hard money payments. So not only was I 100% funded, but I even financed my payments, hence what I call it, finance your financing. This is actually the biggest thing that prevents most people from transitioning to bigger deals, a lack of funding. Don't let that stop you. You cannot progress to bigger deals unless you learn how to raise capital. To help you, get my funding kit, which shows you how I do all my deals with none of my own money. Best of all, I'll give it to you for free. Just go to myfundingkit.com to download that now. One final thought, breaking into luxury flipping may not happen overnight for you. It certainly didn't for me, especially considering where I started. But don't let that stop you. Start where you are and work your way up the ladder. If you're currently doing flips at the $200,000 price point, push yourself to the $500,000 price point. Once you have some experience flipping $500,000 houses, push yourself to the $1 million price point. When you feel comfortable and gain some experience at $1 million, push yourself to $2 million. Then you can jump to $3 to $5 million. Once you figure out $5 million, you're ready for $10 million. And that's where I'm at right now, getting ready to transition to $10 million homes. The point is, you have 2 routes to go to become a 7-figure flipper. You can do the volume model and flip a gazillion small deals and be stressed out of your mind, or you can do a margin model and focus on doing less deals for bigger profits. You decide, but I guarantee you, I make more money flipping 2 luxury deals than most flippers make doing 100 small deals, and my lifestyle is way better. Which reminds me, it's 2 in the afternoon, which is the best time of day to go snorkeling at the secret cove by my house. So I gotta go. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel with almost 800 videos to date. This is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.